The alien auction was loud. Bright lights flashed. Dirty cages lined the walls. Creatures from different planets were being sold like animals. Some screamed, some cried. One didn't make a sound. Inside the last cage was a girl, thin, pale. Her skin was bruised, her clothes torn. She sat on her knees, head down, chains wrapped around her wrists and ankles. A collar on her neck. The auctioneer, a fat alien with 6 arms, banged his hammer. Next, the pleasure animal. He shouted. Trained, obedient, she was the favorite toy of Baron Grelth. Now, a reward for the bravest soldier. Everyone laughed. Who's the lucky winner? Someone shouted. Who wants a broken toy? Another mocked. The crowd moved aside. A tall man stepped forward. Human. His name was Adam Kane, a soldier from Earth. He wore armor scratched from war and eyes tired from too much death. He didn't smile. He didn't laugh. He just stared at the cage. The girl didn't look up. She didn't move. The auctioneer grinned. Here she is, human, yours now, free of charge. A reward from the High Council. Why? Adam asked quietly. Because you saved Sector 7 from the pirates. This is your gift, the alien laughed. She's mute, follows orders, and won't fight back. Adam stepped closer. The girl still didn't move. He knelt. Hey, he said gently. Do you have a name? No answer. She doesn't talk, the auctioneer said. Not since her first owner broke her mind. Adam's jaw clenched. He looked into the cage, into her face. Her eyes were open, but empty. No life inside them. Slowly, Adam reached into his pocket and pulled out a small protein bar. He unwrapped it and placed it near her. She flinched. Then, slowly, she crawled forward. Not like a person, like a frightened animal. She sniffed the food, then took it with her teeth. Adam swallowed hard. This is wrong. Not wrong, human. Normal. This is how things work in the outer systems, the auctioneer said proudly. Adam stood up, opened the cage. The auctioneer blinked. You want her? I want her free. Laughter exploded in the room. Free? What will she do? She doesn't even know how to speak. I'll teach her, Adam said. Foolish human, someone hissed. But Adam didn't care. He stepped into the cage, took off his military jacket, and gently placed it around her shoulders. She froze. Her body shook. He whispered, You don't have to fear me. She stared at him like he was from another world. No one had ever spoken to her like that. He helped her stand. Her legs wobbled. She was weak. But she tried. Adam looked into her eyes again. I'm not calling you pleasure. Animal, that's not who you are. Silence. Do you have a name? He asked again. Her lips moved. A whisper, not a word, just a sound. Adam smiled softly. Then I'll call you Hope. Something flickered in her eyes. Not fear. Not pain. Just confusion. The auctioneer laughed again. What a joke. Giving a name to a toy. Adam didn't answer. He carried her out of the cage like a wounded bird. As they walked away, whispers followed. He's crazy. She's worthless. She'll never recover. But Adam didn't care what they said. Hope, wrapped in his jacket, slowly leaned her head on his shoulder. Her eyes closed. For the first time in years, she slept. Not on the cold floor. Not in chains, but in someone's arms, and somewhere deep inside her broken heart. Something small began to glow. Hope woke up screaming. She didn't know where she was. Her hands reached for chains that weren't there. Her body shook, waiting for pain, but instead of a whip, there was a warm blanket. Instead of a cage, she was in a tent, clean, quiet, and instead of cruel voices, there was only one. You're safe, Adam said softly, sitting by her side. No one's going to hurt you. Hope stared at him like he was a ghost. Her breath was fast. She looked around confused. Her fingers gripped the blanket like it might vanish. "Here," Adam said, holding out a cup of warm broth. "Drink, slowly." She looked at it with wide eyes, then at him. In her past, nothing was free. Everything came with pain. She didn't move. "It's not poisoned," he smiled gently. "It's just soup." She reached out, but stopped. Her body trembled. She waited for him to hit her, but he didn't. He just sat still, patient, like a rock in a storm. Finally, she took the cup. Her hands shook, but she drank. A drop fell from her lip. She gasped, like she'd done something wrong. Adam didn't shout. He didn't strike. Instead, he picked up a cloth and wiped her chin gently. Hope didn't understand. Why wasn't he angry? Adam saw the fear in her eyes. "Did they hurt you? For spilling things?" She didn't speak. Just nodded slowly. Adam looked away. His hands curled into fists, but not at her. At whoever had treated her like this. "You're not an animal," he said softly. "You're a person. You don't get punished for being human." That word, person, it echoed in her ears like a strange melody. Later that day, Adam gave her real clothes, simple but clean. She held them like they were treasure. She didn't know what to do at first. She had only ever worn scraps or nothing at all. He turned around to give her privacy. She blinked, surprised again. No one had ever done that. When she finished dressing, she stood awkwardly. The fabric was soft. It didn't scratch. It didn't bleed. "You look good," Adam said with a kind smile. "You look like Hope." Hope, that name again. She still wasn't sure what it meant. But when he said it, she didn't feel like a thing. He made food. Nothing fancy, just warm rice and vegetables. When he placed a fork in front of her, she looked at it like it was a weapon. Adam noticed. He gently picked up his own fork and showed her, like this. She copied him, clumsy, slow, but he didn't laugh. He waited. And when she got one bite to her mouth, he clapped softly. "Good job, Hope." Her hands froze. No one had ever said that to her. That night, Adam placed a soft mat on the floor for her. But she didn't lie on it. She sat in the corner, arms around her knees, shaking. Adam walked over. "You don't have to sleep like that anymore." She didn't answer. He put the mat closer to the heater. Then he sat down across from her, giving her space. "I know it's hard to trust me," he said gently, "but I'm not like them." She looked at him, her lips opened. She wanted to speak. But fear stopped her. So instead, she did something else. Something small, something huge. She nodded. Adam smiled. "That's enough for now." The next morning, Adam stepped outside the tent to get water. When he returned, something stopped him cold. Hope was standing, on her own, holding the flower he had given her the day before. She looked at him, nervous, unsure, and then slowly, she smiled. It was small, weak, a little crooked, but it was real. Adam didn't say anything. He just smiled back, and in that moment, Hope didn't feel like a reward. She felt like a beginning, asterisk. The knock on the tent came before sunrise. And opened his eyes at once. His hand reached for his blaster. War had taught him to never sleep too deep. Another knock, this time louder. He stepped out. Shirt half buttoned, eyes sharp. 2 alien guards stood outside, faces hidden behind dark helmets. Behind them was a sleek black ship, government markings. "Trouble. Adam Kane?" One guard asked. "Yes." "You have something that doesn't belong to you." Adam's face hardened. "I think you're mistaken." The second guard held up a glowing datapad. "This female. Asset code E497. Registered to Lord Fenthax. Classified as stolen property." Adam's heart dropped. Inside the tent, Hope still slept curled in the blanket, breathing quietly for once. "She's not property," Adam said coldly. "She's free. No such status exists for her species," the first guard said. "She was bred in a pleasure facility. Born for service. She has no legal rights. Adam stepped closer, his voice firm. She has a name. She has a soul. And she stays with me. The guards exchanged looks. You have 3 days, the second one said. Return the asset, or we take her by force. And next time, we don't knock. They left without another word. The black ship vanished into the clouds like a ghost. Adam stood there for a long time, staring into the sky. Back inside, Hope had woken. She sat up, hugging the blanket to her chest. She had heard everything. Her eyes were wide, terrified. You heard them, she whispered, voice shaking. I have to go. Adam knelt in front of her. No. If they take me, she said slowly, you won't be hurt. They won't punish you. I don't care about that. I'm not worth a war. Yes, you are. She looked away. They'll chain me again, beat me, make me forget your name. I'll become it again. Adam reached into his pack and pulled out a small necklace. A simple string, holding a carved piece of wood, his old Earth Dog tag. He placed it in her hands. This is yours now. She looked down at the tag. It had his name burned into it. Why? She asked softly. Because if they ever try to take you, Adam said, they'll know who you belong to, not as property, but as someone I'll fight for. Tears welled in her eyes. She gripped the necklace like it was her heartbeat. That day, rumors spread across the base. Did you hear? They want to take that alien girl back. The council says she's just property. The human is protecting her like she's his wife. Some laughed. Some shook their heads, but others watched silently. Some started thinking. That night, Hope tried to leave. She waited until Adam was asleep. She wrapped the blanket around her and stepped into the cold dark. Her bare feet touched the soil. Every step hurt. But she kept going. She couldn't let him lose everything. Not for someone like her, but just as she reached the edge of the hill, going somewhere, Adam's voice came from behind her, calm, but not cold. Hope froze. I'm sorry, she whispered. This is the only way. Adam walked up beside her. You think I'd just let you go? You have a future. I only have a past. He looked at her gently. Then let's make a new future, together. She shook her head. You don't understand what they'll do to you. I do, he said. I just don't care. Hope stared at him, the moonlight catching her face. Her lips trembled. You gave me a name, she whispered. I can't let them take it away. They can't, Adam said. Because now it lives in both of us. He reached out his hand slowly, and she took it. Together, they walked back toward the tent, no longer as owner and saved, but as something new. Something stronger. Something ready to fight back. Asterisk, the first time she laughed. It scared her. It happened by accident. Adam had slipped on a wet floor while carrying a tray of food. He fell with a loud grunt, rice flying everywhere like tiny fireworks. Hope gasped, then covered her mouth. A strange sound had escaped her lips. Not fear, not pain. A laugh. Adam looked up from the ground, groaning. Well, I didn't plan that entrance. Hope stared at him, unsure. She didn't mean to laugh. Was she going to be punished for it? But Adam just smiled and threw a spoonful of rice at her gently. Glad I made you laugh, Hope. Her lips twitched, slowly, unsure, but something warm started to bloom inside her chest. The next day, Adam brought a mirror. Hope flinched. She had never looked at her reflection before. Her old masters never let her. Her fingers touched the cold glass. She saw bruises, tired eyes, thin cheeks, a face that didn't know how to smile. Adam stood behind her. You don't have to smile today, but one day you will, for real. Hope didn't believe it, not yet, but she wanted to. Over the next days, Adam gave her small lessons. Not in fighting, or war, or survival, but in being alive. How to use a brush, how to say thank you, how to hold a pencil. He found her an old picture book from Earth. The pictures were bright animals, trees, children laughing. Hope sat for hours, flipping pages. Her fingers traced the drawings like they were magic. She pointed to a smiling girl in one picture. Happy? She asked softly. Adam nodded. Yes, that's a happy face. She tried to copy the smile in the mirror. Her lips moved awkwardly. Her eyebrows twitched. It looked strange. Adam chuckled. Not bad for a first try. Hope sighed. Feels heavy. That's okay, he said. You've carried pain too long. Smiles take time. One morning, Adam gave her a tiny potted plant. It had a single green leaf. What is it? She asked. Life, he said. It grows just like you. Hope placed it beside her sleeping mat and watered it every day. She named it Little Hope. That same week, a supply ship came. Soldiers lined up for rations, repairs, and gossip. Hope walked beside Adam, dressed in clean clothes and holding a small list of items. She didn't hide behind him this time. Some soldiers stared. Others whispered, "That's the girl? She's walking like a real person." Can she even talk now? Hope heard it all. Her hands shook. She wanted to run, but Adam looked down at her and said gently, "Ignore them. Just look at me." She did. And she saw only calm in his eyes, strength. A few steps later, one female soldier blocked their way. "Is this your new pet, Kane?" She said, smirking. "Looks cleaner now, I guess." Adam didn't answer, but Hope did something no one expected. She stepped forward, looked the soldier in the eyes, and said one word, "Hope." The woman blinked. "What? My name is Hope." Then she walked past, head held a little higher. Adam followed, proud. That night, Adam sat by the heater, fixing a broken radio. Hope watched quietly, then asked, "Do you think I can laugh again?" Adam looked up. "I know you can." Hope closed her eyes. She thought about the rice flying in the air, about the picture book, about little Hope. And then her lips curved upward. Just a little dot. It was the gentlest smile the stars had ever seen. The night was too quiet. Even the wind didn't move the tent flaps. The stars above blinked like they were holding their breath. Adam slept near the heater, a blanket over his shoulders. Hope slept on her mat, her little potted plant, Little Hope by her side. And then the silence broke. A faint sound. A soft click. A shadow slipped through the corner of the tent, silent like smoke. Hope's eyes opened. She knew that sound. Her whole body froze. It was the sound of a collar being unlocked, only to be replaced by a heavier one. Before she could scream, a gloved hand covered her mouth. "Quiet, property," the voice hissed in her ear. It was cold, familiar, full of cruelty. She tried to fight, but her arms were pinned. Adam didn't wake up in time. A flash grenade blinded the room. By the time his vision cleared, Hope was gone. When he ran outside, there was only a burn mark on the ground where the ship had lifted off. His chest felt empty. His hands shook not from fear, but rage. He shouted her name into the dark. "Hope!" But no voice answered. She woke up in a cage, cold, metal bars. Her clothes were gone, replaced with the same old thin rags. Her collar was back, heavy, tight. She was back in the nightmare. Lord Fenthax stood outside the cage. His tall frame was covered in dark robes. His smile was sharp like broken glass. "You forgot who you are," he said. "You are not Hope. You are nothing." Hope stared at him, but she didn't cry. Fenthax opened the cage and grabbed her face roughly. "What did he do to you? That human? Gave you a name? Laughed with you? Filthy weakness." He slapped her, hard. She fell to the floor. Still. No tears. Because in her heart, one voice whispered, "You are not an animal." That voice, Adam's voice, stayed alive inside her. Meanwhile, Adam stormed into the base commander's office. "They took her," he growled. "Right out of my tent. That noble Fenthax. The commander raised his hands. Adam, listen. She's classified as property under their law. We can't start a war over. I will, Adam snapped. I'll go alone if I have to. You'll die. Then I'll die trying to bring her back. Adam packed quickly. He took only what he needed, weapons, armor, and a tracker. Hope's plant still sat in the tent. He touched it once, then left. He found an old friend, a pilot named Gray, who owed him a favor. I need a ride. Fast and quiet. Gray frowned. You're really doing this? For her? Adam nodded. She's not just a girl. She's proof that someone broken can become whole again, if they believe someone cares. Gray sighed. Then let's bring her home. Back in the cage, Fenthax forced Hope to kneel before a group of rich buyers. She's retrained, he lied. Fully broken again, but still pretty enough to please. Hope didn't move, didn't speak, but deep inside, she waited for the sound of footsteps she believed in, waited for Adam. And then it happened. A loud boom shook the walls. Alarms blared, guards shouted. Lights flickered, smoke rolled through the hall. Hope opened her eyes. The buyers ran. Fenthax cursed. A guard fell outside her cage, shot clean in the chest. Then, through the smoke, a shadow appeared. A man, tall, blaster in one hand, rage in his eyes. Adam, she whispered. He kicked open the cage. Let's go home, he said. Hope stood up, weak, but smiling, because this time, she wasn't the one being rescued. She was choosing to be free. Asterisk, the moment the cage door opened, time seemed to stop. Hope stood frozen, staring at the man she thought she'd never see again. Smoke curled behind him. Alarms screamed through the compound. But Adam Kane stood like a stone, weapon raised, breath steady. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. His eyes met hers, and in that silent second, Hope made a choice. She took a step forward, then another. Chains still dragged behind her, but she didn't care. Fenthax roared behind them. She is mine. Adam didn't even look at him. He pulled out a blaster and shot the lock off Hope's collar. It clattered to the ground like a dead snake. Hope reached up and touched her bare neck. She trembled. But she didn't stop walking. More guards rushed in. Adam handed her a second weapon. Hope stared at it, unsure. You don't have to shoot, he said, but you don't have to run anymore either. Her fingers closed around the handle. For the first time in her life, she stood side by side with someone. As an equal, they moved fast. Room by room. Adam cleared the way. Hope kept up, never looking back. A guard aimed at Adam from behind. Hope raised her blaster and fired. Direct hit. The man fell. Adam looked at her. Nice shot. She blinked, stunned at what she had just done. He smiled. Told you, you're stronger than you think. They reached the outer gate, but Fenthax stood there with 10 guards. You think you can take her from me? The noble sneered. She was born for pleasure. She doesn't know how to be free. Hope stepped forward before Adam could speak. I do now. Fenthax laughed. He fed you lies, gave you flowers. Names mean nothing. You're nothing. Hope's voice didn't shake. I was nothing. Until he saw me. Until he listened. Until he gave, without taking. She pulled the wooden tag from her pocket. The one with Adam's name on it. This isn't a chain, she said. It's proof someone loved me, before I even loved myself. Fenthax growled. You belong to me. No, she said. I choose him. A firefight broke out. Adam and Hope fought back to back. Sparks flew, glass shattered. The ground shook. When it was over, the guards were down. Fenthax limped away, face bleeding, screaming curses. Hope lowered her weapon. Heart racing. Adam looked at her, blood on his shoulder. You okay? Hope nodded. I'm free, he smiled. Let's keep it that way. They flew away in Gray's ship. The stars stretched in every direction. Hope sat beside Adam in the cockpit, hands still shaking, but eyes full of light. Leaned her head against his arm. "Thank you for coming back." Adam placed his hand over hers. "You gave me a reason to." Then for the first time she said it clearly. "I love you." Not because she was trained to say it. Not because she feared punishment. But because she chose to. Hope had never seen snow before. It fell like soft stars from the sky, landing on her hands, her hair, her nose. She looked up and smiled, this time not forced, not afraid. Just real. She turned to Adam. "It's cold," she whispered, amazed. He smiled. "That's winter. You'll get used to it." They had landed far away from the war zones, on a quiet colony near the outer rim. Green forests, small homes, peaceful skies. No cages, no masters, just silence. And freedom. Adam bought a tiny home. 1 room, 1 heater, 1 table. Nothing fancy, but it was safe. And it was theirs. Hope walked through it like a dream. She touched every wall, opened every drawer, peeked behind every curtain just to be sure there were no chains. There weren't. She placed her little plant, little Hope, by the window. It had grown new leaves. So had she. Later that night, they sat on the floor by the heater. Adam was fixing a loose bolt on the stove, while Hope held a cup of tea in both hands. "Do I still look like a slave?" she asked suddenly. Adam looked up. "You look like someone I trust with my life." She smiled softly. "I don't shake when people talk anymore." He nodded. "I noticed. I sleep without nightmares now. I know." Then she asked quietly, "Why me? Why did you fight for me?" Adam looked at her. His voice was low and steady. "Because the universe needs more people who are seen for who they are, not what they were forced to be." Hope's eyes glistened, but she didn't cry. Not from sadness. From peace. Word spread across the colony. The human soldier who brought home a pleasure animal and turned her into a woman with a name. Some were confused. Others whispered, but a few started to change. One local farmer offered Hope a job at the market. "You have kind eyes," he said. "I trust you with the coin box." Another neighbor, a mother with kids, asked Hope to help her sew blankets. No one called her property. No one called her it. They called her Hope. One evening, as snow gently fell again, Adam lit a small candle and placed it on the table. "What's this for?" Hope asked. He looked nervous for the first time. "Where I'm from, we light a candle before asking someone something important." She tilted her head. "Like what?" Adam took a deep breath, pulled out a tiny ring made from metal scraps and a carved stone. "Will you stay with me?" he asked, "not as someone I saved, but as someone I love." Hope stared at the ring. Her hands shook, then she placed her hand over his. "Yes, and not because I owe you, but because I choose you." Years later, a small girl with bright eyes played near the old plant by the window. She looked up and asked, "Mama, why is this plant called Little Hope?" Her mother knelt beside her, smiled, and said, "Because when everything else was gone, it was the first thing I ever took care of, just like I take care of you now." Outside, Adam stood with a smile, watching them through the glass. Hope looked at him. The man who gave her a name, a choice, and a real home. She waved. He waved back. And in that quiet moment, she knew she was no longer a reward, no longer a cage, no longer someone's toy. She was Hope, and she was finally free.